does it feel to be sitting here doing this?
Definitely very nerve-wracking, but I'd do anything to save another person from going through what I've gone through. What happened to me affects me on a daily basis because, you know, physically I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not up to doing as much as I used to anymore. This is the first time I've been out of bed for this long in 2 years. I don't really like to go out or see people. I'm very afraid of my face because people stare. He pretty much haunts me every day.
Contact County 911. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
I need help! He shot her! He shot her! Brian shot my daughter! Please! It's okay, Styles. It's okay! It's okay! Keep breathing. I can hear that. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Deep breath. Deep breath.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. My boyfriend in high school, his name was Brian States. We started dating when I was 13. We first got together as I was walking home. He started texting me while walking behind me, which I thought was weird, but, you know, maybe he was shy, you know? He talked to me the next day, and we just ended up clicking and being friends for a while, and then ended up being a couple. When I very first met Brian, he was charming. He was super charming. All of these gifts, and, you know, he treated me like I was a princess. It was always an adventure, you know what I mean? And I think that's what I loved about him and what drew me to him. He was adventurous. And to me, at first, he was always that happy-go-getty person, and I loved the energy that he put off. It wasn't like any other guy I had met before. We were walking home from school one day, and my phone went off. Brian had looked over, and he saw that it was a dude.
Who are you talking to?
And he went through my phone, and I guess did not like what he saw. It was literally just a friend. And he got angry. And when I looked in his eyes, his character and everything, you know, his soul was almost not there. Like he flipped a switch and he just turned it off. So he went ahead and squeezed my arm so hard that he left bruises. I didn't really know how to react. It was just kind of a numb feeling that I felt. He just wasn't the same person that I knew. He told me I wasn't allowed to speak to other guys at school. I wasn't allowed to text other guys, nothing.
I don't want you talking to anyone else.
So eventually he controlled pretty much what I wore. If I wore different things that he didn't like, you know, he would punish me for that. He pretty much controlled everything that I did, even in high school. He always apologized. He would bring me flowers and bring me stuff to school and buy me books and buy me things I liked just to try to apologize or make up for it. But, you know, there's not really an apology for that. It broke my heart, but honestly, I would always feel bad because, you know, I do love him. I think that I always wanted to feel loved and I always wanted to be treated the way that I treated him, if that makes sense. He was convinced all the time that I was dating or talking to other guys. He was very, very insecure, and he never ever believed me. The physical abuse got worse instantly. You know, he would hit me, he would throw things at me, he would scream at me at the top of his lungs, and it was over little stuff. Once the abuse started, it felt normal to me. You don't feel anything, and you just kind of keep, it's just part of the day. You just do it to keep going. He became a person I was scared of and a person I was completely frightened of every single day. Eventually, people start to notice. I had a teacher pull me aside, and he said, I don't think this looks right. You know, the way he treats you isn't right. The way he's just grabbed you isn't right. Brian had beaten me the night before over something so stupid, and I had bruises all over my legs. He had noticed and said something about it. I was embarrassed, but I protected him and I lied, you know? And those teachers, they just let it go, and I really wish they would have just sub-reported it or done something about it. Brian slowly stopped being the really excited, unpredictable person that I loved and started being the person that he was. I wasn't ever an assertive person. I've always kind of been a shy, quiet, you know, let's keep the peace kind of person. So if I can keep the peace in any way, I'll do that. One day, Brian was at my house and I saw his phone and it lit up a girl's name. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and look at it. She was like, what time are we hanging out later? And I was instantly upset because I put up with so much that being betrayed by him giving some other female attention, I mean, it was just heartbreaking and wrecking to me. I took a picture with my phone. I was way too scared of him, so I didn't say anything to him. I waited till we went home. I texted him about it. The text said, I saw what the girl said to you. I know you have plans later to hang out with her. I took a picture with my phone. I have hard evidence. No, you can't delete it or deny it. I told him, you know, I'm done. I don't want to do this for real. Like, please leave me alone. It felt empowering to be able to tell him, you know, like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do this with you. Like, I don't have to deal with it anymore. And then he took that power right back. He told me that if we ever broke up, that he was gonna print off the nudes that I had sent. I made the mistake of sending him nude photos of myself because I was a child and I, you know, didn't think it through all the way. And he said that he would spread them all around school. I felt disgusted, completely disgusted. It was completely terrifying. At 13, I had no idea what to do with that. I didn't want to be in trouble with my mom or my parents for, you know, making that mistake. I just finally texted him like, fine, I'm sorry. So I just stayed with him. I felt like I had to apologize to him for him to stop being that way. The entire time, even up until after I was shot, I felt like I was the one who messed up. I felt like I was the one who did something wrong. I was the one who hurt him. He had me so convinced that I was the one doing something wrong. If I could look back and tell myself in that moment, I would tell myself to leave, to save myself. So much hurt and so much regret and so much pain. You know, if I could go back and tell little Abby that she is worth it and she is beautiful, I would do it in a heartbeat. I didn't leave because he had my nudes, and he said that he would spread them all around school. So I just stayed with him for mainly the fact of that at first, and then I did end up falling in love with him. I was super in love with him. I felt a really strong desire to help Brian because I felt like he had no one else. I told myself that he was sad and he was broken and that I just felt like he never knew genuine love, and I wanted him to understand that feeling. The way that Brian showed any kind of physical affection was through sex, and that was about it. I would tell him that I didn't want to, and he would just not take no for an answer. He never was that kind of person. It was, I want what I want, and that's what we're doing. One day, he had sexually assaulted me, and I had enough. It made me angry, because I do nothing but, you know, care and respect him, so why would he degrade me like that?
Brian.
He understood the actions that he was doing, and he understood the harm that it was causing me, and he didn't care.
You can't treat me like that.
What are you even talking about?
I'm leaving.
And I told him that I was done, and he completely lost it.
You're what?
They started throwing things around the apartment.
Someone else is gonna put up with
It was very scary.
You're not going anywhere.
I was distraught, and, you know, I was half naked, and I packed the little things that I had, and I escaped. He was trying to grab me and drag me back into the apartment. But then suddenly, a kind neighbor stood in front of me and wouldn't let him touch me. Then I left, and I was hoping never to speak to him again. And that was super, super, super hard. It was a very hard day. I took everything I had to walk away that day. He started stalking me super heavy. Every time I was somewhere, he was somewhere. Every time I looked out my window, he was parked across the street. He would email me every day because I had blocked him on everything else. And eventually, he said he was gonna kill himself, and he sent a picture of himself in a bathtub with the razor blades. My friend killed himself when we were like 12. And he knew that would get to me. And, you know, I ended up going over there and, you know, made sure he was safe. He was crying and telling me he loves me and he doesn't want to be on this earth without me, and just making me feel really bad about it. And like it was my fault that all of this was happening to him. I told him that the way he treated me wasn't okay. And that I didn't want to be in that type of relationship. And he, you know, I can change and I can get better. I definitely believed all of him. and then he sucked me back in. We got engaged in South Padre Island. We went on a family trip there. He waited till all of my family was away from us, and he got down on one knee and, brought our ring out, and I said yes. Later on, I went to the store and I bought a pregnancy test. And when I came home, I didn't really tell anybody because I didn't think it was going to be positive. And the second blue line showed up, and I was so ecstatic instantly. I was so happy. I remember looking at it and almost dropping it because I was, in shock. And I turned around and Brian was like, what's wrong? And he sees it and he just goes blank almost. It was weird. I've never seen him look like that. He didn't really have any emotion on his face or anything. He told me that he did not want to be a dad. He suggested a few times that maybe we do an abortion. It absolutely tore me into pieces because I always wanted a baby. Him becoming a dad, it was honestly the beginning of the end. I definitely enjoyed my pregnancy. I enjoyed it a lot. Things were really good for a long time. We lived with my parents literally until the day before I was going to be induced. I really hoped that when Styles was born, we would become a happy family, but that's not how life worked out. The ride home from the hospital was normal. It was all normal. Can I have a break? I'm not feeling well.
Of course.
I just don't feel very good. Sorry, I'm just in pain.
Oh, you're in pain?
Yeah, just sitting here for a long time. I don't usually get out of bed. I'm not physically fit, so this is a lot, but I'm trying. So sorry if I have to get up and walk around, so.
Totally fine.
917 interview, take 7, off 6.
I didn't really want to move, but he wanted to move because he had some issues with my family. He'd been arguing with my family. He didn't let anyone come over after the baby was born to meet him, to hold him, nothing. It took 5 months for my son to meet my brother. So he isolated me really bad after we had our son. He instantly became a monster because we could be alone and no one was there to help me. I was taking a shower and he never would hold the baby or watch the baby while I took a shower. So I had the bouncer right outside the shower and the baby started crying. So I called for him and I asked him if he would come and pick him up. Ryan! I yelled out, hey, can you come help me with the baby? And instantly I was terrified because I was like, I shouldn't have even asked, you know what I mean? I should have just got out of the shower. He came in there super angry and ripped the curtain back and choked me. When he was choking me, he had both of his hands wrapped around my neck. And he had like lifted me off the floor almost. I looked him right in his eyes and they were black. He was gone. He really wasn't there. And he choked me until I passed out.
Wake up! Hey! Hey! Wake up! Listen to me!
When I was coming to, I was just confused. You know, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on around me. He was screaming at me. The baby's crying, you know. I didn't even know where I was when I first woke up. It was scary for me. He had no remorse, nothing. Just no regard for me at all. He definitely could have killed me that day. That was the end. I had enough and I decided I was gonna leave. I waited till he went to work and I called my entire family. I told them I was covered in bruises and I needed help, and every single one of them showed up. We cleared out his entire house basically because everything was mine, and we just left. And then when he had to come home from work and realize that his entire house and his child and his fiance were gone. At that point, I was done. That there was nothing that he could say or do to make me come home. I had to let him have visitations because that's the law, you know? And then he suddenly wanted my child. He was doing it to hurt me. I was really scared that he wasn't gonna watch him or feed him or, you know, take care of him. So that's what we dealt with for a long time until I met Jordan. I decided that I was gonna start dating again. I decided it was time and I was ready. I ended up matching with this guy and he was super cute. He looked sweet, and then we just ended up clicking like instantly. He showed me what real love was. He showed me cuddling. He showed me kisses. He showed me, you know, how gentle love and real love. And I never knew that, and I never knew that I could have that. He asked me to come over and look at the cake pops that he had made for my son's birthday. I did not want to go to his house because I was afraid, but I did want to see these cake pops because the party was a few days away. I walked in the kitchen, I saw the cake pops, they were really cool. I turned around and he grabbed me by my hair. He dragged me to the bed, and that's when he sexually assaulted me. I, you know, just waited for it to be over, and then when he went to the kitchen, I grabbed my stuff and I ran out. I left my son there because I tried to get out as quickly as I could. I dream about it every night, you know. I am so traumatized by that. I sent my mom over there the next day to grab him. I was going nowhere near the house. I promised Jordan that I wouldn't go over there ever again. I don't really feel well. I honestly threw up while I was on lunch, so I'm not just technically feeling very well.
Do you need to take a break?
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I know we just started back. I just feel like dizzy and hot and...
So why don't we take a break?
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No.
Are you getting dizzy?
Yeah. Just in a lot of pain and I'm crashing.
Welcome back, Abby. You just want to put that through your shirt.
Thank you. I think last time that I had to stop because I was in a lot of physical pain that wasn't under, like, it wasn't under control medically. Also, it was just like mentally straining, which I wasn't expecting. By the end of it, I was literally falling asleep. And I feel like that was just because of bringing up the past trauma was exhausting to my body. Physical pain is just in the moment, you know, but like educating other people and preventing them from having this pain is really my ultimate goal. It was super important for me to come back and finish the interview because I wanted to make sure that women and men out there are still hearing my story and still making sure they're not doing the same things that I did and making the same mistakes. I'd like to save at least one person from feeling like they're less than they are. That's me. This is my favorite picture of me before I got shot. My hair is my favorite color. My eyebrows were dyed too. And my skin was just beautiful. I really thought that I was the ugliest person. And looking back, I just wish I would have known, like, just how naturally beautiful I was. It's super hard. I actually spend a lot of time looking at photos of myself from back then. I don't recognize myself from back then anymore. I think just kind of the new me is who I dream about now and stuff, so yeah, it's just really weird to look at old photos of me. It makes me sad, but it also makes me happy. So I woke up that morning and I texted his dad to drop him off at my mom's. And I got in the car and I drove to my mom's house where my son was already supposed to be. And he wasn't there. I texted him and he said that his van car door broke and he couldn't take Styles to my mom's. I had to come get him. And it sounded fishy. So I didn't want to go, but my mom convinced me that we should just go get him, give Brian a little bit of, you know, grace, which we should not have done. We drove over there in silence. He was texting her the whole time, asking if I was in the car with her. Is she with you? Is she with you? Is she with you? And my mom answered yes, she's with me. And then he didn't answer again. And then we arrived at his house and she got out of the car because he told her to come up and get the baby. So she got out of the car and I pulled my phone out to message my boyfriend, Jordan. I definitely knew I was not supposed to be at his house. I felt uneasy. That whole morning, I didn't feel okay. I needed to get my son out of that house, and that's all I really wanted to do. And as I was texting Jordan, I heard 2 shots. And when I looked up, I saw his face behind the biggest gun I had ever seen in my life. So I had seconds to react. So for the 3rd shot, I threw my hands up and tried to protect my face as I turned. And he shot me through my fingers into my face. And the seconds after that, I wasn't in pain. I didn't know that I had been shot in 2 other places. I thought it had just been my face. So I reached up and tried to put pressure on my face, and when I put my hand there, there was nothing there. It was just an empty hole. So I put my hand back down, and I remember looking at all the blood, and then I remember turning my head as far as I could to look for my mom, because I wanted to know where my son was. I didn't know if my son was alive in that apartment or not. And I think that was the scariest part. And I heard his cry. And as soon as I heard his cry, I knew that I was gonna keep fighting, because I wasn't gonna go with my son there. So I held on as hard as I could. And I saw my mom cradle him with her whole body, you know, as she was running down the stairs, trying to protect him as much as she could, because we didn't know where Brian had went. And the last things that I remember is my mom holding my hand, asking me to please stay, because she didn't know how to live this life without me in it. And then I woke up in the hospital a few days, like a week later. That's when the pain hit me. And then the pain never stopped after that. It really didn't. I opened my eyes and I had to realize that my eye was gone. My mom was standing there. I reached up and touched my eye and she said, yes, it's gone. I couldn't save it. It was heartbreaking. I felt like the world was half as beautiful. And I felt that way for a long time. I was shot in my face, heart, and lung, but it also hit the window and exploded, so it kind of shot me everywhere at the same time. Because of the trach, I couldn't speak. I could barely move. The whole waking up process was just very traumatizing. I wanted to know exactly what happened to him, where he went, you know, what happened. And Brian, actually, 60 seconds after he shot me the 3rd time, he shot himself once, and it was a fatal shot to the head. It was kind of a peaceful feeling, but also a very painful feeling. And to this day, I still don't really know how to process that. There's an anger there. It's almost like he gets to get away with this. Because I can tell my story all I want, but he's never gonna understand how it felt to be the victim. He's never gonna understand how it felt to be completely controlled or, you know, told what to wear, told what to do, you know, being imprisoned, you know what I mean? He never understood how he made me feel. And I feel like in that way, he kind of got away with it.
We always reach out to police departments whenever we do stories, and they did send us the 911 call.
I've never heard it.
Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay, you don't have to.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. I didn't know that was ever an option. This might be really hard for me, okay? This is the part in my memory that I don't have. This is the one part that I don't have. and you guys are about to fill it in for me. Because the last thing I remember is her getting in the car.
You reached Wyandotte County 911. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
I need help! He shot her! He shot her! He shot my daughter! Please, she's not... Please! It's okay, Styles, it's okay! It's okay!
Yes, ma'am. I'm getting them to you. Hold on just a moment.
Please help me! Please, honey, breathe! Honey, breathe! Honey, breathe! Hurry up, please! We shot her in the face! Close range, twice, with some kind of rifle, and then he ran.
Hi, ma'am. I'm getting the EMS to you right away. Hold on. I'm going to transfer you over to EMS. Do not hang up.
Keep breathing, keep breathing. Deep breath. Deep breath.
Wow. Wow. You could hear me breathing. You could hear my son screaming. And she stayed so calm. And I've never been so proud. That was the only hole that was missing. Thank you for showing that to me. I needed to feel that piece in because I have so much more sympathy for my mom. I was pretty angry at her for making me go that day. But I didn't really know what she went through that day either. Yeah, that was a lot. I've had so many surgeries that I literally cannot count. I had to have my heart repaired twice. I had to have both lungs repaired. They also took bones from both my hips to put in the top of my face and in the inside of my mouth where I wouldn't have a face. You can actually see that my sideburn that was over here is actually over here now from where they stretched my skin so far. It's taken a lot. I'm actually having another surgery. So, yeah, it's gonna be multiple more steps. The hardest part about recovering is the fact that you have to start building your life again from nothing. I struggle with chronic pain is what they call it. But yeah, it's all the time. But I have a great support system. I have so much support that I have to lift it back up sometimes because they're all just ready to be there for me, and it's amazing. Jordan is my best friend. He really is. He's my support. He's my strength. He's everything to me, and I feel like God put him in my life for a reason. He really did. Jordan. He is my absolute best friend in the entire world. It makes me so unbelievably happy. And we have a really great life. I'm so much happier now than I was before. I'm so much more at peace. Hi, it's Abby again. I'm the one who was shot 3 times, once in my face, once in my heart, and once in my lung. It was really important for me to start making videos just so that I could get the word out there. I really struggled for a long time with this is my fault. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, and you guys create such a support system that it's crazy. Thank you guys for listening. It was very important for me to come back and finish. I don't think I would have been okay with leaving it unfinished.
That was hard for you too.
You all right?
I want people to take away the fact that you're strong enough to do anything. If you put your mind to it, you're strong enough to do anything. If I can take 3 bullets, you can do it. You know, you're strong enough to do whatever you put your mind to. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Domestic violence is everywhere, and we all deserve love. And if you're giving love, you should be getting love.
This picture shows the true Jagada Pearson Sr. Evil, cold, no soul. I lived in hell within them walls.